I know a lot of people find themselves in prison that aren't actually about that life. Ones that will not harm somebody just if they have to protect themselves. That will just let people take advantage of them, get over on them, and finesse them, extort them, etc. One thing I could tell you is checking in isn't going to help. Maybe you should have thought about it before you landed in prison. For this video right here, I'm going to be talking about checking in and what happens after you check in, and most definitely the main reason of the video is talking about how people check in the moment they land on the compound because they're scared to walk in there to see what the institution's really about. So let's do it. I'm the best, finna be this way till I EOS. Take it how you want, nigga, yeah, I'm a pro. Fuck around and bust your lot while you're at Vizzo. I hate to be this way, but I live for the moment. Waking up every day, show me an opponent. Shanks on deck, hitting bitch with locks. So much pool, I can even start you from the box. You don't wanna pay rent, got me bent. Got lax on deck, your money was well spent. Vultures on the prowl, so don't try testing. Step 2, cause violent first steps finessing. You a hold down man, suitcase this. My cell phone and my charger don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see your ass, you gon' leave airlifted. What's up, y'all? You already know, man. Kfrog TV back in the building. Y'all go ahead, man. Do me that solid favor, y'all. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And also make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. Welcome back to the channel, man. Today I got a very, very important video. And the reason I'm doing this video is I had somebody message me and ask me, can I please specifically touch on this topic due to the fact that they are going to prison for being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they're truly not living like that. Will checking in make it better? Is what they were asking. So, for people who've been here for a while, y'all know I've spoken on checking in multiple times, okay? I broke it down in different ways to let y'all know how it is and stuff. But for this one here, I'm going to be talking about when people check in as soon as they hit a compound without even giving it a shot to see what the prison's actually like, all right? And I'm going to be talking about, will it help you by checking in? Is it going to make the situation go away, or is it going to prevent you from being in situations? All right, so I want to go ahead and get into this one. All right, I'm going to break it down and let y'all know from another inmate's perspective, from the perspective of what's going to happen to the inmate who checks in, and even from the guard's perspective of how it's looked upon and everything. All right, now if you're somebody that finds yourself in prison and you're truly not, about that life, and you're not trying to get in any types of situations, one thing I will tell you about Florida is checking in isn't going to help you, okay? It may postpone what's to come, but in the long run, it can make it worse. You get what I'm saying? Or you're just going to, never get over the fear or never, break that fearness that's got grasp holding you, that you're going to just go to your next camp and go through the same thing. You understand? If you're someone that doesn't like to be around people, which I know a lot of people out there that are like that can't cope with being around a bunch of different people. They feel like it's scary and bad things can happen to them. And, well, what if this guy does this to me? Or what if someone says this to me? They get so scared and nervous due to just the noises in the background of a bunch of people talking and shit that they literally would check in. That's what people do. They feel like it's bad, and they get like this sense that a lot of times it be wrong, like not saying that, all your senses are wrong. If you sense something's going to happen, not saying fully ignore them. But one thing that I'm saying is you got to think about it. You can't go off of everything you see in movies. You can't go off of everything you see in books and stuff like that, or in the newspaper, because they want you to think something is worse than it really is. And then when it's something that is real bad, they also don't want you to know about it, you see? So it contradicts itself. But for the people who go to a prison and they just get there and they're so scared that when the bus comes and they land at that compound, they check in without giving it a shot. One thing I got to say about them type of people is you're a buster, And the reason for that is because you're trying to stay in your shell, Trying to avoid conflict, drama, or not wanting to be in a cell with somebody. It's understandable, but there's other ways to go about it. You feel me? You can literally be somebody that's in prison that just don't associate and talk to other people, you know, and people can leave you alone and not mess with you because they know that you don't want to talk, you don't want no friends, you're a loner, you feel me? You might get some knuckleheads here and there that want to try to come and, you know, come in your lane and try to like bully you or antagonize you or something like that. But somebody that's like that is more respected than somebody that checks in, okay? Now, I'm going to let you know what you're going to go through if you're somebody that checks in like that. Say you get to a new camp and you decide, you know, you're in fear for your life. For those that don't know what checking in means, that means you're in fear for your life. So they got to take you off the compound and put you in confinement for your own protection, all right? But let me say this, in the state of Florida, inside of Florida prison, if you are a check-in, if you do get put on PC, protective custody, you can have a roommate that is PC'd up or protective custody, you see? So don't think that just because you check in, you're going to guarantee get a cell by yourself. You feel me? People check in for the wrong reasons, all right? They might think they're going to be, you know, left alone and not have to deal with nobody, and there could be somebody else in that cell with them in confinement that is a PC'd person. There's people that literally PC up on purpose just to get placed in the cell with people that are check-ins, just so they can get their hands on them and stab them and do whatever it is that they were trying to do before they checked in. You see? So let me let you know that off rip. You are still not safe when you check in. When you get transferred, you are not safe. You're not placed on a different part of the bus or kept separate from everybody else. You are thrown on that bus with every person that's being transferred on that day. And then when you hit your new camp, that's when they're going to read your name and tell everybody go this way, but whoever they call to go this way, you're going to confinement because you're on PC. So think about that. You check in at a place, people know you checked in. If they really want to get to you, there's still multiple ways that it's done. It happens on a day-to-day basis. It isn't like it rarely happens. It happens frequently inside of Florida prison, okay? But let's say you're one of them people that want to check in and think it's going to solve whatever you got going on in your mind, you know? Your first time in prison, you're nervous, you don't want to meet no new people, you're going off everything you see in movies, everything you hear, you know, all the war stories you hear from people that you know that did time. Let me throw this in there. Not knowing that all the stories they throw out there, everybody wants to sound like they did the worst and harshest time, so 9 times out of 10, the stories you heard, they're amping it up to make themselves look like they went through such a treacherous time, which a lot of it be bullshit. But say you're one of them people, and you decide, yeah, I landed this institution, I'm nervous as hell, I don't know what to think, my stomach's churning, I got butterflies, I'm checking in, I'm in fear for my life. So they put you in confinement, right? Who knows? They might transfer you, not right away though. You're going to be sitting back there in confinement, waiting, pending transfer, if they're transferring you, if they put in for you to be transferred. Now, Charlotte CI, where I was at, so many people checked in because it was a jungle. You know, it was a ratchet ass camp. You can go on Google and you can type in Charlotte CIs, you know, like you can look it up and see how many people passed away at any institution you want. But if you Google Charlotte CI's mortality sheet, it'll show you from the years that I was there, how many people were getting clapped and stuff like that. But people can't cope with that, so they want to check in. But one thing about Charlotte is check-ins are not getting transferred right away. You will be back there rotting in confinement anywhere from 3 months to a year and a half before they finally say, you know what, let's transfer them. Charlotte isn't one of them institutions that want to transfer you. You see what I'm saying? So it makes it to where there's a lot more dangerous things going on the compound because confinement's filled with so many check-ins because they're not transferring them as often. So since so many check-ins are on the compound and so many people are getting stabbed and so many people are getting caught with knives or people are getting caught for stabbing people, they're rotating and they're letting other people out of confinement. So if you got something petty and I come in for stabbing somebody, they're going to let you go early. You might still have 45 days left in the box. They're going to let you out. But after a while, there's not that many petty more people back there. It's all stabbings, knives, stabbings, knives, stabbings. And then they just keep it rotating because they can't let out a PC person. See? So the PC things like fill up the confinement like permanents almost. You feel me? So you might land at an institution where you cannot get transferred when you PC up. So if you decide to check in as soon as you get there, 9 times out of 10, you may not get transferred right away. You might sit back there and rot, like I was saying, right? And another thing, if you are one of those people who decide to do that, just know it doesn't get rid of the problem. It doesn't solve the issue, all right? What I mean by that is you never face the fear at all, you know? And it could have been not even that bad, you understand? Like, just because all these bad violent acts are happening at that institution to all these different people doesn't mean you don't have a chance to survive and make it through there. You feel me? These other people get stabbed up for reasons. Or, you know, they just landed on the wrong person's radar. Doesn't mean it will happen to you. There's plenty of people who are pie, who are not living like that, that weaseled their way through their bid. There's plenty of people that have told, that ratted on somebody on the streets, that weaseled their way through their bid. You see, like, it doesn't mean just because you're a scared individual and that dude, and that dude, you know, are harder than you, and you know they're more savage than you are, and they got tooken up through there and got stabbed up, doesn't mean that you ain't got no chance. You know, you might be so weak of a prey that they won't even prey amongst you. You see what I'm saying? They might not even be after you. When you go to another institution, it's gonna follow you. You understand? And I'm talking about it'll always be there, which means, for instance, somebody might have seen something, or somebody knows something, or somebody knows somebody that's seen, and word can come out. So say you check in here because you were new to prison, but then you rotted out in the box for 5 months and you couldn't wait till they transferred you. So then they finally transferred you, and then when you got to your new institution about a year in altogether, you finally, you know, decide, I'm done with the box. And you say, you know, you sign that you're not in fear for your life, and they take you all PC, right? And boom, now you go and you're like, this shit ain't even that bad. You feel me? So then you start walking around, you start getting used to it, and you feel like anything's better than the box now that you see it's not really that bad outside of confinement. So then you start carrying yourself one type of way, meeting people, you know, talking the shit, you know, you got motion a little bit now, you get known, you start getting your feet out there, get them wet, start doing what you got to do. And then somebody comes around and knows you PC'd up before at another institution or whatever it may be, and they mention it. As soon as they mention it, everybody who was cool with you, that was your dog for months, is going to straight turn on you now because of that. Like, out of everything we talked about, everything we've been through, that's the one thing that you didn't mention. So you knew that was wrong, that you PC'd up. But you're talking like you're a killer, like you're a savage now all of a sudden. And a lot of people get caught up like this, even gang members. There's people that will become a gang member, you know, in the middle of their bid, that checked in the beginning of their bid, and then near the end of their bid, it'll get, you know, brought out, come to the light, and then next thing you know, everyone's trying to kill them, and the worst part of their bid is the end of their bid. They're trying to survive and make it to the streets. You see, like, it's all because they checked in. You feel me? Checking in isn't going to solve nothing, okay? That's how I look at it. What's meant to happen is meant to happen, regardless. And say, you know, you get into it with the guards, or there's guards that don't like you, or there's guards that are just, you know, cool with certain gangs, you feel me, that are actually crooked and shit like that. They can literally always see on file that you checked in before. So they could spread the word to the inmates. So it's like you're walking on eggshells your entire bid and you don't even know it. But it can always get brought up, even if no inmate sees you. Even if no inmate knows you checked in. But by you checking in, them officers have it on paper. And them officers can be crooked and do stuff like that and get you up off the compound. You see, these are the type of things that you got to remember. You feel me? Checking in isn't always the best route. You may think it is at the moment, just to avoid whatever's in that compound that you don't know. You're just going off of theories and you be wrong. Okay? So that's what it's like if you're someone that decides to check in, and I want you to know that. Now, from my perspective, if I'm someone looking at somebody and I see them check in, okay? Say I see them check in, first thing that comes to my mind and everybody else's mind, because I'm a convict, is what a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up, like, You feel me? Like, who does that? You get what I'm saying? And it's funny to us because we'll laugh at you. We'll sit there and point and laugh and make you more scared because you're like, these random dudes are just pointing at me laughing and shit like that. And we laugh because we all went through something to land inside a prison. You get what I'm saying? So even people who aren't harder than you checking in, the people who aren't harder than you still look like they're up here to you. You see, you may be able to whoop that person, but at the same time, that person ain't check in. He's out here hanging out with people, you know, kicking back, you know, cooling it, ain't getting into no shit, and people ain't messing with him. You know, there's so much things going on that people aren't just picking on only the weak. Not saying the weak doesn't get picked on, because they do a lot, almost all the time. But there's so much going on with people that are about that. You know, so you got so many people that are about that going back and forth too, you see? So if I see someone check in, first thing I think is they're a bitch, you know, and I'll never forget a face. So if I got transferred to another institution later on down the line, and say it's a year and a half later after I seen you check in at another camp, and I go there and I see, oh, he's the dude now, everybody, he walk around, he got like 5, 6 homeboys, he act like he calling shots, he's a playmaker, he gets money, he's doing all this different shit, you feel me? I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna look, and I might feel like you remember me seeing you check in. So you might want to try to get me taken off the compound, off rip, before, you know, I bring the true you to the light. Don't matter if you're a gangster now. You checking in, that shit was still there. There's plenty of people that weren't living like that, that start living like that. But it doesn't matter, living like that or not, checking in is always a bad thing to have on your jacket, you see? So if I see you at an institution, and like I said, you're this big shot caller now and stuff like that, it ain't in me to just run up and start saying, hey, ain't you the dude that checked in, yada, yada, yada. But I'm going to peep you're the way you are. You get what I'm saying? And after a while, once I get my feet in the door and I start doing my 1-2 and I start making money and I start getting known, I know what's going to happen is 2 things. 1, we're going to end up bumping heads because we're going to be competition. Okay, nobody that's making money wants someone else to start making money in where their territory is. So, boom, we're going to meet like that. Or 2, you're going to see me before, you know, I peep game, and then you're going to try to put a hit on me or something, and I'm going to get cut, and I'm going to think it's for no reason, but really it came from you. Those are the 2 ways it goes, because you're not going to want shit to hit the fan. Now, if it came out that me and you, you know, seen each other, and then I were to address the fact that, yeah, you checked in at what's it called, so many people around you are not going to want to believe it. But they're not going to attack me just because I said that. They're going to all look like, what's he talking about? You feel me? And then shit going to come out. And then every institution you go to, there's going to be guards that are, you know, entwined with inmates, to where inmates are going to be able to ask the guards, oh, is this boy right here, Frog, is he telling the truth about our brother? And then they look it up and they'll be like, yeah, it shows right here he was on PC. He checked in from what's it called to this. And then it's like, damn. Now, we ain't mad at him for putting you on blast. You know, it ain't his fault you checked in. We appreciate him putting us up on game. You feel me? And you ain't going to do nothing to him about it. And then they're going to turn on you. You see, that's how it goes. It's a dog-eat-dog world. You see, that's why it's bad to check in. You never want that on your jacket. You get what I'm saying? Because it can be brought up and used against you at the worst time. At the littlest situation can make it hit the fan. You feel me? People could just start coming after you, and then you won't know, and it's because somebody leaked that you was a check-in at once upon a time. Okay? Now, let's talk about it from the guards' perspectives. Do guards respect that you check in? Of course not. You feel me? Now, you got the ones that play RoboCop, the ones that want to save the day, the ones that are so straight by the book that they don't see no wrong in it. Okay? But another thing about them same officers are going to be mentioning stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? They're going to be talking about it out loud, about you being a check-in. Or they remember you checking in. Or, yeah, we'll make you check in like that new white boy did that just came from such and such. Like, they're so easily word spreaders that they don't really know they're putting you in more danger. You see what I'm saying? Unlike the crooked ones that will purposely put you in danger. They don't respect that. You know, like they'll sit there and try to talk like they're your friend and get you to tell on people and shit, just like the cops do on the streets. And when you're telling, it sickens them. They're happy that they're going to get the arrest and they're going to catch who they need to catch. Just like in prison, they're happy you're telling on whoever you're telling on, so they'll know who stabbed who or who's got the contraband they're looking for. But it sickens them that you're the individual that's telling. They don't care nothing about you. You get what I'm saying? And they'll always look at you like a check-in. So if you checked in when you first got there, and then after like 2 weeks, you were like, I'm not in fear for my life no more, and you signed, boom, and they threw you on the compound. That officer that remembers you checking in when you first came in, y'all are going to have like a bond to where like when he's coming to do shakedown, he's going to be looking at you certain ways. You know, he remembers you were check-in, and then he'll say little slick shit to you. He'll say little slick things to where like you and him are like, you know, y'all like got like an inside, I won't say a joke, but it's like, it's, you know, y'all got your own little vibe. You feel me? And what it is he's got dirt on you. He knows you checked in before. And you're walking around like you're a killer and you're cool with everybody and you're the head of this gang and you got all these brothers and you're living like that. But really, he's got dirt on you. And he can literally extort you if he wants. The guard can blackmail you and do whatever he wants just so your information doesn't hit the fan. You see what I'm saying? And to me, I'd never want somebody to have that type of leverage on me. You get what I'm saying? I feel like whatever God's got in store for me, he's got in store for me. So whether it's a soft camp, a medium mild ratchet camp, or a straight trenches jungle, I'm going through it. Regardless. Chin up, chest out. And at the end of the day, you know, some days are going to be better than others. Some days are going to be worse than others too. There's nothing I can do about it. Time is time. You feel me? But that checking in shit, it ain't happening. You got people that check in and literally lose their life. And then you got people who lose their life that should have checked in. You know, it's everybody's bid is completely different. You feel me? But I want to answer the person's question of, will it solve anything? Will it make it better if they check in? And I feel like no, it won't. You'll just be able to push back whatever's meant to happen. You're just pushing it back. You're just postponing it. You feel me? And a lot of times you'll see people on the streets that talk that rah-rah about prison, and they were check-ins when they were up the road. You know what I'm saying? They've checked in. And they'll talk all that gangster shit like they living like that. I can't tell you how many people I've ran into on the streets that I was in prison with. Whether it was just for a couple months or, you know, whether it was just a week or two and everything. And they all talk the same. Like, yeah, you feel me? Remember when we was up the road, bro? We was this and that, this and yada, yada, yada. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, man, that motherfucker, he was checked in, bro. He wasn't really like, you know, like they'll talk different. They'll act like they just hid whatever it was. They just threw whatever it was like out there in order to get off of the radar of the police. You know what I'm saying? In order to make it to where they can get out less harmed and not have to worry about getting hurt. But in all reality, you checked in, you pulled a bitch stunt. I feel like using that shit just to try to avoid problems or hoping nothing happens to you, you did it for the wrong reasons. I've had homeboys that got chased with knives on camera. Been chased, gotten gang wars, like gotten gang fights, and then of course you're not gonna just let them stab you, you feel me? And then you'll try to run and weave that shit, and then they see on camera you getting chased with a knife. And I seen my homeboys get put on PC for that. Sometimes they make you PC up, you feel me? It isn't like it's always voluntarily, you feel me? Sometimes you'll get in situations where you automatically get put on PC, you feel me? Now that's different, you feel me? Rather than voluntarily saying you're in fear for your life, you feel me? So that's why I wanted to make this video, to let y'all know it isn't gonna do nothing but postpone. What's gonna come is gonna come regardless, no matter what institution you are at. And you may think it was so bad at this institution that you're glad you got away from it, from everything you've seen happening to other people. And then wherever you go after that might be a weaker camp, and it might not happen at all that much, and then something terrifying happens to you. And see, now you were just at a camp that was ratchet all around the board, but you weren't really in harm. But you landed at an institution after that from checking in that didn't seem like that, but the one person that was in harm's way was you. You see? So that's why you got to just face that shit. You know what I'm saying? I know it's easier said than done, but at the end of the day, it's one of those fears you're gonna have to break. And that's the best that I could tell you about the whole situation. And I've literally seen buses show up on Tuesdays at the institution and everybody in fear for their life, scared to get off the bus. Guards are screaming. You can hear them across the gate, screaming and everything, trying to get everybody off the thing, and they refuse. Once they find out what institution they're at, Charlotte CI, oh hell no. The whole bus refused. You're in fear for their life. You even got people that cut themselves just so they don't have to get off the bus. You can look it up. Google it, and you'll see. You feel me? They go psych. People go psych in order to not, you know, get off at certain camps from stories they heard. You feel me? And then some are going to, you know, roll. The others are going to fold. And that's how it goes. But my opinion and the way I'm going to wrap this video up is to let you know I feel like it's not going to get better just by checking in. It isn't the smart thing to do. I feel like you should face whatever it is. Some you might get the shit end of the stick in some situations, or some you might come out on top. You feel me? Now, if you find yourself going through it with a whole dorm, say the whole dorm wants to kill you. The whole dorm's after you. I'm not saying just lay there and be deer meat and let them get you. You know, go out with a bang. You feel me? Like if you know them boys are finna gut you, go out with a bang. On the way to chow, you hit one of their ass first in front of the officers. They're gonna call that a check-in stunt. You feel me? But at the same time, what were you to do? At least you went out with a bang. There was nothing you could do because them boys was finna get you. You feel me? That's all I got for y'all today, man. Y'all drop in the comments and let me know what y'all think. Some people may agree, some people may disagree, but hey, I'm open for all opinions. Drop it in the comment section and let me know. And like I always say before I wrap it up, make sure you keep them rats, squares, clowns, chomos, pedos, gunners, wannabe island boys, and clout chasers out your circle. And them check-ins. And until next time, this the one and only, I am my team, Frog.
I'm a criminal, I'm a cool nigga, but I got a limit though.
I'm a cool nigga, but I got a limit though. Cause I'm a criminal, yeah, I'm a criminal.